All right, what's going on? Trey Dalbert here. James Herrick's with me again. This is the third year of the Matthew Berry Challenge. Right now, the current scoreboard, I looked this up beforehand to make sure it's accurate. It's 23-4 in favor of Don. So, what's going on, James Herrick? How are you? I'm very, very excited to talk about this one today because I guess I'm the new king of fantasy football, and I don't really know if it's an opinion anymore. It just seems like it's a fact, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing great, but this has always been something that I know you look forward to doing, and I certainly do as well. And it's been a little tradition at this point, and it's become a lot of fun, and it makes it – the only thing that makes it funner is you get the win every year, and it's fun to see.
Well, I wanted to start here because, again, I don't want to throw you on the bus because this is going to be the most – we're going to crank the heat up on this one the most that we have ever had. So – I don't even know. We didn't talk about this beforehand in the direction that I wanted to do, but so I don't even know if you're caught up to speed on this, but he's come out and basically said, or it's posted in his column this year, that he's done. He's not doing this column anymore. So I just want to know, and I ran this through the AI system. I want to know like your personal opinion if I'm a whack job on this. Do you think he's quitting this column because he actually doesn't have time anymore, even though he's paid millions of dollars to do his job? Or do you think he wants to run away from the receipts? Because that's exactly what I think he's doing.
Yeah, I think it's a runaway thing here as well. It's a pretty, especially considering he's been doing this this one's been a 25-year column he's been running. So this isn't
and again,
1 year.
If anyone goes and reads the article this year, it literally says, I have everything in life because of this column. I met my wife because of this column. I got hired on ESPN because of this column. Like, he accomplished all of these things because of this column. And now he's quitting doing it. I just don't buy it. Like, he can say whatever he wants in terms of, oh, I'm too busy. I want to be more of a family man. Nobody's forcing him to write 4,000 words on Friends before he gets started on this article. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's forcing him to go on these 5,000 word soliloquies before he even gets to the meat and potatoes of his article. Like, nobody's forcing him to do that. And even if you're the biggest fan of Matthew Berry, if you quizzed all of his fans and you told him, hey, he's crunched for time, he's not going to do these 800,000 word intros anymore, he's just going to get to the good stuff, nobody's complaining. Like there's not one Barry fan out there that's like, oh man, I'm missing out on the 4,000 words of Friends. Like, nobody's complaining.
And it also, if you're going to cut a piece of content out to have more time to do other things, cut something. There's a bunch of other things you can cut. It doesn't have to be this specific.
And like, here's the other thing. Like, how long does this article actually take him? Like, I just don't believe that if I could write the same article in 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours tops, maybe. There's just no way that he's being paid millions of dollars. His only job is fantasy football, and he doesn't have time to write the only column that he claims made him famous. That's crazy.
It's insane.
Crazy.
And even if he truly is not trying to avoid having receipts or anything like that, still, it's crazy. Even if you give him the benefit of the doubt, it's still like cutting a massive piece of content out that does not need to be cut.
Well, there's that other part of it. If you're NBC Sports and you hired him, and again, you think you're getting these written columns, and now he's like, you know what, I'm not doing these anymore. How would you feel as the company? Like, you've just gotten slashed how much content just out of nowhere because he doesn't want to do it? Really? That's where we're going? So, again, I guess right now I am the king of fantasy football, and I'm not even trying to sound egotistical of that. I literally slayed. He's done. Like, so I want to know, like, in your opinion. So I guess love-hate isn't totally done because he's still under contract. He still has to do, like, the YouTube shows and still show up to the NBC Sports appearances or whatever. So he's still going to do the shows. But, like, we don't have the receipts to go on anymore.
Yeah, it would have to be a compilation of like different takes throughout.
Yeah, we'd have to we'd have to go through every single one of his shows, clip the parts where he says he likes this guy or doesn't like this guy, which will take a while, and maybe that's just what we'll have to do for next year. but I just think it's fucking comical that it's so. I think the most hilarious part is the awful announcing people actually picked up that article and they ate the cheese and they're like, you know what? Barry's always putting these high quality articles together. Like, oh my God, we feel so bad for him. Like, come on, bro. Are you really not paying attention? This is running away from the receipts. This is exactly what this is. There's no room for interpretation. He knows exactly what he's doing. And since he knows exactly what he's doing, I put together AI running through his entire list of teammates. And boy, oh boy, did we get some like if you told me on the bingo card when we recorded this last year that ChatGPT was going to run through his entire list of analysts, and they were going to call one of them a literal DEI hire. Again, that's coming from ChatGPT, not me. Boy, oh boy, has the fucking heat really been turned up on him. Unbelievable. So I literally wanted your thoughts because, like, again, it's one thing for me to attack him and be the irrational, angry Trey, but I'm really not. It's just like, dude, this is a little sad, like, at least in my opinion. So I want to know what you think. Yeah,
I mean, I would definitely agree that it's a shameful way to hide some potential receipts, which it's a point in when you're making content. Like, unfortunately, there's going to be receipts out there. Like, that's kind of the whole. You don't really have a choice, and it's kind of, if you're going to shut down that aspect of the job, it's kind of
like this would be the equivalent. Let's say that, like, I got hired to do some NFL draft content, and then one day I just decided, you know what, I'm not doing the stock report notes anymore. Fuck it. I don't want to do them anymore. I don't got the time to do them. It's like, really?
And those take a lot more time.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like,
and actually, they might not take as long as people think, just because. Herrick, you tell me, but, like, I'm probably writing 25,000 words a day. I gotta be. True. I gotta be up to 25,000 words a day. So this idea that, like, I could pump his love-hate column out in 2 hours. I guarantee it.
Yeah. And you mentioned this before, but you trim the fat off this thing. I mean, and I haven't scrolled down to the love-hate list. So when we actually start pulling up rankings and we pull up the article, I'll start it from the top just so everyone can see
you gotta
how
scroll,
long you got to scroll to get
you got to scroll a half hour just to get to where the fuck he's talking about fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, and nobody's forcing him to do that.
Yeah. That's like, we can just see the love and hate, and it's really not that complicated of a concept.
Or if you want to go on that long ass rant for no reason, you host an hour-long live stream for NBC Sports. Why not do it there?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can sit and speak out your what are clearly very long thoughts.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's comical. I don't know why more people aren't speaking up about it and falling into this trap where they actually believe him. Because if anyone's actually paying attention, they know the truth on this without him having to say it.
Yeah, even if you're not in tune with what we're doing here, even if that's not the case, it's like, well, this still has red flags all over it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's still like, whoa.
Put the Matthew Berry challenge to the side. This is a total fucking red flag.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, he can say whatever he wants about how this is not a retirement tour. This is a fucking soft retirement tour. And in reality, he's passed the throne to Trey.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So when I do these cheese articles or these OnlyFans articles, I'm gonna link it in every single time. So I guess we can get started here.
Okay.
Herrick, I don't know how you feel about some of these picks, but I got a long list, so I guess we may as well get to it.
All right. I will toss up the let's see, not his love and hate.
Yeah, like, I got it pulled up on my phone just to, like, cross-reference it. You got to scroll a fucking half hour just to get to the fucking point of what he's talking about.
Here we go. To the quarterbacks we go.
I do want to get to I want to show that exact quote, though, first.
Oh, okay.
About where he said he's done. Just so that people can actually I think you got to keep going for a while.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know where it's at because there's a 0% chance I was reading all.
I'll be able to see it. Keep going. See, all of this stuff. Nobody's forcing him to type this. Nobody's forcing him to type this.
Eventually.
Okay, yeah, right here. Okay, so yeah, let's just go to this column. This column has been great to me in every way. Everything good that has happened to me is because of this column. This column was my entry into fantasy football, right here on Roto World, and then the column that brought me to ESPN. Like, this guy's literally saying his entire career is built on this column, and now he no longer has time to do it. Who's falling for this? Like, who's falling for this?
I mean, there's some gullible people out there, but it's like, guys, come on, let's get a grip here.
So, yeah, again, I'll link the article in once we post it. I ran this through the AI system just because that's the most unbiased party. And I literally, every single time that I type in it, please tell me if you think I'm wrong. Please tell me if you think I'm off base. AI essentially said, this is his identity. He's absolutely running from the receipts. So I don't know how much room for interpretation there is. And I guess we can keep going now. I just don't know who's forcing him to write
Here we
this.
go. We're this deep into it. Now we get, all right, let's get to it. We're halfway through the article.
We haven't even got started yet. So we're gonna skip all. We're gonna skip all of the quarterbacks that he loves. We're skipping all of those. We're gonna do every single quarterback that he hates.
Wonderful.
So,
and then I have his rankings pulled up, so I can. I want
first
to
of
share
all,
those on the screen.
A big reason why we're gonna add Herbert again, which he was a hit last year. A big reason why we're gonna hit Herbert again is because he's just flat out lying. So he links his Fantasy Life ADP, which is a link to his own personal website, which doesn't really show accurate information. Herbert going as high as quarterback 11. That's just not true. Like, there's not one site that has him ranked quarterback 11 from what I've seen. And I do the cheese list every single year, the OnlyFans list every single year. You're going to have to help me out on where he's ranked quarterback 11 on these sites. The only way he's getting away with saying this is he was maybe in a league where somebody picked Herbert as the 11th quarterback off the board. Because there's no sites that have him as quarterback 11. Nowhere.
The Matthew Berry rankings have him ranked as QB 17.
And again, we've been over this 1,000 times. All these fucking sites, they copy each other. They rank them around the same spot. I have not seen him above quarterback 15. So I don't like. Can we pull up like ESPN's quickly or like? Because he's just flat out lying. There's no site that's got him at 11. Maybe there's like an expert out there that's got him at 11 that he's just like cherry picking, but nobody's really got him at 11. I'm going to pull up ESPN's right now. Because again, there's all these different analysts in here. So, ESPN does have him at 11. So it's a direct shot at ESPN. That's what it is. It's a direct shot at ESPN. Okay, now it makes a little bit more sense. I had to double check what their rankings were. So I don't know what we want to do with this one because I don't know if we want to go by ESPN's list, but quarterback 17 is too low. That's just where I'm at on it.
Yeah, we have gone off Berry's list in the previous years, so he's got him at QB 17.
I think his hates. I think once again, so he got burned on this last year. I think once again he's too low.
So we've got Herbert higher than QB 17.
Yeah, so we're taking the under on 17.
Yep.
And like, here's the part that I just don't understand. I understand that the Chargers are. We talked about this last year. I understand that they're a run-first offense, but they still have Jim Harbaugh, and they're gonna win games, and they're gonna score points. So, like, what's the purpose of this hate for Herbert? That part I just don't get.
Yeah, it's weird from Herbert because Herbert has been looked at for a good amount of time as one of the more talented quarterbacks in the league, and I think last year is probably the first year of it where there was like a sudden shift in where people viewed him among quarterbacks, even outside of fantasy. And it kind of happened out of nowhere, and it happened like right as they were, switching into the Harbaugh era. And it's like, well, just because the last head coaching era
Brandon
was
Staley,
horrid.
just because Brandon Staley sucked.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I don't know if it's purely because they think Harbaugh is going to run the air out of the football, but that was
but
not.
He's
the
not a
case
zero in the rushing either. Like,
yeah,
he's
exactly.
Pick up some rushing yards too, and their weapons are pretty good.
Yeah.
Year 2 Lad McConkey, Keenan Allen comes back. Didn't have him last year. They draft Trey Harris. I actually like Keandre Lambert-Smith. It looks like he's had a good camp. Like, his weapons don't suck either. So Herbert's the first one.
I like Harris a lot as well. All right, Tua. I believe Tua has been
and
pretty
last
consistent.
Last year we missed on this one, but again, I feel obligated to take it simply because of the wording of his article. I don't have Tua on my OnlyFans list. I don't have him like ranked crazy high. But again, I have a problem with him running away from the receipts. This is exactly what he wants to avoid, me doing this. So if you just look at that last line right there where it says, look at it this way. If on draft day you make Tua Tagovailoa your fantasy QBs or your fantasy team's QB1, your fantasy team is a day closer to death. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's doing that. Like, it doesn't matter what league you're in, a 1 quarterback league, a super flex league. Nobody's doing that.
Fantasy Pros has him as QB 21. So if he's going as your QB1 in a league,
yeah,
if that's the case for you, that means you decided you wanted to punt on the quarterback position and spend the least amount of resources.
It literally doesn't matter what form. You could be in a 14 team league. You could be in a 14 team league. He's still nobody's quarterback 1.
Yeah.
So, like, this is a complete fucking lie. Again, this is exactly what he wants to avoid. This is exactly why he's not doing this column anymore. So, let's add Tua to the list. I don't even care where he's being ranked. We'll take the under on where he's got him, just for the sole fact that this is ridiculous. Like,
yep. So Barry has him as QB 24, so that is the mark he'll have to beat, which is, for Tua's got a lower floor than other guys, but it's like if he plays 16, pretty confident he finishes higher than 24.
That's exactly what happened last year. If he simply played in the games, he would have hit it, which he didn't. So I guess the biggest concern here we have is for a health perspective. But again, a lot of these leagues, if you have Tua, you'll be able to cut him, get somebody else. So it's not the end of the world if he gets hurt, or if you have an IR spot, you can stash him for a while. So let's add him to the list too.
And then Sam Darnold. This is the last quarterback
where he's got him ranked is completely fucking laughable. So he's doing the same trap that everybody's doing. He's crediting Darnold's success for Kevin O'Connell. He's crediting Darnold's success for Jordan Addison. He's crediting, by the way, he hated Jordan Addison last year, so I don't know how he can make the argument that Jordan Addison made him. He's making the argument that Justin Jefferson's making him. He's making the argument that TJ Hawkinson, who had 0 touchdown receptions, is making him. I just don't buy it. So, again, full transparency, I bet Seattle to win the NFC West. I think Darnold's going to hit in Seattle. And I don't see Clint Kubiak as this massive downgrade. Like, I think Clint Kubiak knows what he's doing. So, we're talking about a guy who threw for 35 touchdowns this past year. Darnold is on the OnlyFans list. So, if you're in a 2-quarterback league, and he's sitting there at so he's got him ranked like quarterback, 20-something?
27.
So, yeah, if you're in a super flex league and he's your 3rd quarterback and he rotates in best ball, I think that you're sitting pretty. Why would you pass on that?
The quarterbacks behind Sam Darnold in his rankings are Aaron Rodgers, Anthony Richardson, and Daniel Jones. Those are the only, and he only has them listed to 30. So, he thinks those are the only guys he's going to be worse.
That's completely fucking laughable.
Better than.
So one of the only guys he's got ranked below him, and he only put 30 on his list, which again, how are you being paid millions of dollars? Your only job is to cover fantasy football, and you don't even have all 32 starting quarterbacks on your list, which I think is embarrassing. But anyway,
he's got 2 Colts guys right there.
Yeah.
So
how is Anthony Richardson like one of the only guys you're ranking below him? That's insane. So add all the quarterbacks that he hates. Let's sign up for the opposite.
Wonderful. I feel like that's a pretty good. I feel like if you did that in every single one, that'd be like the cheat code to winning. It's just fading them on every single.
Here's the other part. So I mentioned this before about how all these people copy each other. All these people, they have basically the same list. So Barry's list is going to look the same as everybody else's, and in the mainstream media at least. Everybody's low on Darnold. Everybody's got him ranked outside the top 20s. I don't see any reason why he can't. So he was quarterback 9 last year. Why can't he finish quarterback even 15, 16?
And if he does that, you're hitting a home run.
Yeah, especially in a real grown man superflex league, you're stealing. So, yeah, Darnold on there for sure. And just a minor note before we keep going. I've heard this argument and I don't really understand it. So people have said, well, Smith and Jigba's a slot receiver and Cooper Kupp's a slot receiver, so that means it's not going to work. Like, do people think that Seattle doesn't know that? You know, like
they've got no idea.
Yeah, do you think Seattle's not going to come out with creative ways to get those guys in the slot? Okay, guys.
And they should have a pretty good run game as well. Like like the offense should be just productive as a whole.
And defense. Like, this is not a team that probably won't be on the field for large stretches of the time. Seattle should have a good defense forcing like punts. So yeah, I'm for sure in on Darnold at that price. And I don't really understand why he's people are pretending he can't play.
They won a lot of games with Darnold last year.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, next one. It's the next name on the list. And I guess I want you to go first because I feel like I've said everything that I need to say, whether it be the track record on Mountain West running backs, the idea that he now plays for the fucking Raiders, which I think people that have paid attention to my stuff should now have picked up on this golden rule of fantasy, which is I do not want running backs on bad teams. We talked about that group of 7 last year that went 83 and 36. The James Cook, Kyron Williams, Bijan, Saquon, Josh Jacobs, that group, Derrick Henry, that group last year that won you, their records were 83 and 36. This is a guaranteed last place team. I just think people have been conned here. Like they've been told they're getting the next Barry Sanders. If you get the next Doug Martin, which again, Doug Martin had a 1,400-yard rushing season. Like, that's not fucking trash. I'm not calling him the next Trubisky where he should have went in the 6th round. I'm simply saying it's fucking insane that he went as the 6th pick in the draft in a running back draft where there were 30 other guys.
Yeah, and as far as fantasy goes this year, his rankings are Bijan 1, Jahmyr Gibbs 2, McCaffrey 3, Saquon 4, Jeanty 5.
But so everybody's got that. Yeah. Like I've seen lists where Genty's as high as 3. I haven't seen him lower than 6. So everybody is just penciling this fucking guy in. Like he's a top 5. Like according to the mainstream media, there's like no chance he's going to finish outside of the top 10. Like they've already fucking crowned this guy. He is Barry Sanders. He is LaDainian Tomlinson. He is the next god running back. And I just think people have been conned. I really do.
Yeah, and the fact that we're putting him with names up there already, quite ridiculous. Quite ridiculous.
There's just no way that I'm on the, let's say it's a snake draft. I'm on the clock. I got, pick 5 or wherever that would slot in. There's no way I'm picking him over Derrick Henry. There's just no way. And it would be one thing if Derrick Henry played for the Titans. Derrick Henry on the Ravens. There's just no way.
He's going to score touchdowns. So. Yeah. I feel like the only argument you could have for Jeanty being this high, which I still would disagree with, is if he were on a good team and he were like you could pencil him in for a lot of touchdowns. I feel like that's the only way you could talk yourself in to getting him this high. And like I said, you still have to talk yourself into it. And I would still not be 100% there, but I could at least understand the logic. Meanwhile,
even if you went to like a Dallas where they have nobody and like you feel like, okay, they at least got Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and they got Pickens and they'll at least be able to score points. Like, I like Chip Kelly. I really do. But Geno Smith ain't any good. And this is as guaranteed of a last place team as it gets. So even if you're like in a total disagree with on the pure talent of Jeanty, which again, I'm on record for saying I think he's going to be a lot closer to Doug Martin than anybody wants to admit. And Doug Martin still had a 1,400-yard rushing season. Like, it's pretty good. It's just not God, which is where you're being forced to draft him.
It's where he's been crowned already.
So, over on the RB5, right?
Yeah.
And he's got him, I think, in terms of like the top, just every single player, I think he's got him as like number 8.
I've got that.
If you throw in the receivers too. So I think that should be mentioned. Yeah. Like, where does he got him in terms of the top, in terms of everybody? Because you're passing on not just the other running backs here either.
Yeah. He has him as player 8 with the running backs listed ahead of being Jamar, Jefferson, CeeDee.
So I want to take, can we make this a 2-parter? I want to take the over on player 8. And I want to take the over on RB5. And I would love, if possible, I could get a bonus point that if Travion Henderson outscores him. Because, again, we want to add as much context here as possible to, unlike Barry, I want all the receipts out there that we possibly can.
The
way that I would play it, if you want to take one of these rookie running backs, I'd much rather take a Derrick Henry or one of those other receivers or however it falls and just take Henderson way later.
I think the Henderson bonus point is a complete fair ask, in my opinion.
Especially because
I would gladly honor that.
Yeah, because, again, those guys, they went on their show, and so Henderson's on the love list, so we can't use him. But they went on their show, and they're basically like, talent's never been the concern with Travion Henderson. It's can he handle a workload, which is so fucking ridiculous. Like, so because Maris Leafau took a cheap shot on his fucking ribs and he missed a couple weeks, that's proof that he can't handle a workload. Like, we're just completely lying about that part when it comes to Henderson. So again, I have Henderson as the number 1 running back in this draft class. I feel like that should be a bonus point. That's the way that I would play it.
I think it's fair for a bonus point, especially since you have Henderson as the preseason or pre-draft, RB1. That makes it even more.
This, by the way,
yeah. I also prefer college running backs that didn't get run through the absolute dirt before they get to the NFL. Just saying. Everyone likes to look at like usage in the NFL and use that to predict injuries, but no one wants to look at, if he had 500 college touches or whatever the number would be, if he had an absurd number of college touches, like, oh, maybe we can look at that as well. People just
also got a massive fumble problem.
Yeah,
he fumbled twice in that Penn State game, and he didn't look good at all. And how about this part when it comes to Jeanty? Like, and you kind of already said it. He had all these carries, but it's not even about that. George Halani was the starter at Boise State his freshman year. Like, he could not beat out George Halani. So I just think all these people have been lied to about how he's the next Barry Sanders. If he's really the next Barry Sanders, he should be able to come in right away the same way Travion Henderson did as a freshman. Who's George Halani? If he's the next Barry Sanders, he should be able to beat out George Halani.
Yeah.
Which didn't happen. So,
especially at Boise State.
Yeah. All right. We're going to have to scroll a little bit here. So we're not doing Achane. I'm in on Achane too. I don't see any reason to fade him. I feel like I should get an automatic point at the top for Bucky Irving. Just not even taking it. I feel like he should just give me a point out of just pure integrity. But we don't have to do that if we don't want. That's the next one, Chase Brown. So I wrote a separate article on this. I'll link it in. I just think, like, are we sure this isn't a fluke? We're sure he's a top 10 running back. We're positive on this. So last year, everything went right for Chase Brown. Zach Moss breaks his neck. They trade for Khalil Herbert, and Khalil Herbert fumbles, and they don't use Khalil Herbert. Chase Brown was on the field every fucking snap. They bring back P. Ryan. They draft Taj Brooks, who I don't think is fucking terrible. He's really a nickel running back. If his usage comes down, and this is a Bengals team that doesn't have a great offensive line, I'm just not ready to go there on him being a top 10 running back. And he's got to be even higher than that.
He has Chase Brown slotted after Derrick Henry. So his rankings are Ashton Jeanty 5, Derrick Henry 6, Chase Brown 7.
Over. And basically every fantasy platform has him in that 7, 8, 9, whatever range.
Yeah. I feel like some of these running backs are going to be on the hate list, or they're going to be on his hate list, and we're going to talk about them later. But there's some running backs who are north of the top 10 that are all looking like guys I would much rather spend draft capital on.
Like if you're drafting in fantasy, like let's say you're a snake draft, your pick 10, 11, 12, like he's your first or second round pick.
Yeah, I'd take a receiver.
Yeah,
if that's your position.
I'm open to the possibility that Chase Brown can play. Maybe the LASIK eye surgery fixed a lot of his problems. I am open to that possibility, but I'm not writing him in as a top 10 running back right away. I'm not doing that.
This feels one that if you decide to pass on Chase Brown this year, and I say you, anybody in general, if you're in a casual league and you decide to pass on Chase Brown, is it going to be the end of the world if you pass on Chase Brown? He does actually finish top 10, and you just draft a different player instead who can provide similar value. Like, it's not the end of the world if you miss on him or if you hit on him. But, if you decide to draft him, there's a pretty big likelihood that this is not a top 10 running back, and then you feel real stupid.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of risk. I think it's possible he could finish because the Bengals, they should score points. Yep. Burrow's going to move the ball. Opportunities should be there. I'm not denying that part. I just he's really a top 10 running back. I would much rather have Kyron Williams or names like that. So I just think we've really jumped the gun on this one.
I agree.
Next name on the list is right below him. That's actually his ride or die. He better fucking hope and pray that Najee Harris isn't going to play. He better hope and fucking pray, because he's got him as in the teens as a rookie. Now,
RB 13,
and a lot of fantasy platforms have him around that mark. Boy, oh boy! I get that he plays for the Chargers and they're going to run the ball. But if he's really and I said this in the video, if he's really a first round talent, like everybody says, he should smash this ranking. I just don't think he's a first round talent. I think you're going to get something a lot closer to Beanie Wells than anybody wants to admit. By the way, Rashawn Slater just went down. That's not ideal. But the other thing about it is Najee Harris had 299 fucking carries last year. If he even comes back in week 4 and is remotely the same, there's no way he's hitting this.
Yeah, and I find it weird that last year we talked about the Chargers running backs and we were like, well, nobody wants these guys. Yeah. And it was the year of the Dobbins hit, which for you was ironic. But last year nobody wanted these guys, and now at the same time no one wanted Herbert, but that's a whole nother discussion. And now a year later it's it feels like an overcorrection.
Yes.
That people feel the need that they absolutely have to have the Chargers running back. When last year you were getting the Chargers running back, albeit it wasn't the flashy new rookie that everybody wants. That's got some cost to it as well. But it feels like people are really reaching here to get to a mixture of that new rookie and a mixture of what they missed out on last year.
And he mentions a key point in this little paragraph here where it says he can catch passes. That's all well and good, but Greg Roman offense never throws the ball to the running back. So Dobbins barely got any receiving work. Gus Edwards had fucking 5 targets in the entire year. The way the Greg Roman offense operates, they're not using the running back in the receiving game. It's the way that it happened with the Ravens. It's just how Greg Roman's offense is. So he can sit there and say whatever he wants about how he can catch passes. Mark this down. Make sure you remember this. His receiving numbers won't be anything. I mean, he'll get something, but his receiving numbers, whatever you can gamble on it, there's no way that it'll be anywhere near like a 500, 400 crazy receiving work. There's just no way.
I agree. It is.
He better fucking hope and pray that Najee Harris is done, because it's his only chance at hitting this.
Yeah, and I never am pleasantly like enjoying having a running back where I'm like, oh shit, he better catch passes. Like if that's my when I'm putting my faith in with the running back, like that's concerning, I'll say.
Yeah. All right. Next name on the list, it's the others receiving votes. He's got Kamara too high again. So last year, Kamara, he had that crazy week too, and then he basically really didn't do anything the rest of the year. And then during the fantasy playoffs, he absolutely killed you because he didn't even show up. We do understand that this guy was in the 2017 NFL draft. Dalvin Cook's out of the league. Leonard Fournette's out of the league. He plays for a Saints team that's not any good. He's never been a good inside runner. I gotta know where this is like. So he's got him where? 16?
17.
Right? 17. Not doing that. Especially, it would be one thing if, hey, he's the Chiefs running back. On the Saints, at this stage of his career, with who the fuck knows who's going to be the quarterback during the fantasy playoffs? Because that's the key. He's really a receiving back. How do we know they're going to move the ball and be able to get him the ball? So, no thank you at that price. I would be okay taking him if he's like RB 25 or 30, but like he's not in the teens for me.
Yeah, that offense, I should say, is gonna be complete. You're gonna want to pull your hair out if you have Kamara and you're trying to, you're in a close one and you're like, especially I need a touchdown from Kamara. It's like, oh, good luck, man.
Especially at that price. At that price, he's like your RB2. Like, you need him to fucking hit.
Yeah, that's RB 17, and in his total he is 40. So that's, if you're in a 10-man, that's round.
You're using somewhere a 3rd or 4th round pick in a snake draft. That's really high. Like, I would be fine with if he's a flex play. If he's like my RB 3-4, I'm cool with that. I ain't doing that. Not at that price. Not in this offense. So again, I should clarify this too. We don't play in PPR leagues. So Matthew Berry's league, I guess it's a half-point PPR, so it's kind of in the middle. But either way, I'm still out on it.
Yeah. Talk about not putting your foot down on something. Half-point PPR might be the most.
Yeah.
The best example of that of all time.
Yeah. Running backs that he hates. I always find this argument comical in terms of what the fantasy community does. So they say, well, he had 18 touchdowns last year. He can't do that again. Well, maybe he won't get 18 touchdowns, but he still plays for Buffalo. And he's still in the middle of his prime. And by the way, the Bills don't have like a Jefferson where they got to force feed him the ball, or a CeeDee Lamb where they're going to feel like they force feed. He is the guy. So it's literally Josh Allen and it's Cook. So, and this is a back who they use him in the receiving game a ton. I'm trying to figure out why he can't do this again.
I think the James Cook combination of actual watching him play and being like, oh, this guy's good. The actual skill of the player, plus the quality of the offense is like, all right, yeah. I mean, it shouldn't really be it's a pretty easy one in my mind. It's always been an easy one with James Cook. Like, yeah, gladly take James Cook on my team. He's good, and he plays for the Bills, and don't really have to think much more after that. It's one of the easiest fantasy picks out there you can make.
Again, it would be one thing if he played for the Jets or if he played for the Saints or if he played for – I don't want running backs on bad teams, but I do want running backs on good teams. And this team's going to score a fuck ton of points because they always do. So, like, I just don't understand the argument of, well, he can't do that again. Why can't he do it again?
The starting running back in an offense that scores a lot of touchdowns. Like,
yeah.
Well, let's just think. Maybe this guy might score touchdowns. I'm not too sure.
So where does he got him ranked? Just so we make sure that we got.
Yeah, RB 16.
We'll take the under on that.
Yeah, and if you're sitting there in a snake draft, or you got a certain amount of money you got to set aside for a running back, and the two guys on the board, James Cook and Alvin Kamara, it's like, all right, well,
exactly.
He's got them right next to each other. It's like, yeah, I'll take James Cook and not even think for a split second about it.
That provides the perfect context. You say, oh, well, you don't like Kamara. Who are you going to take instead? Well, we'll take Cook instead.
Yep.
Next one. So this is where the context is important. He's got Breece Hall on his hate list. I also am not a fan of Breece Hall, but I want you to pull up that clip if possible. I don't even need to play it. It's fine. But he's got him as an RB14. Talk about not having a set of balls at all. How can you possibly say that somebody is on your hate list and then you rank him as an RB14? Like, that's not putting your foot down at all.
Yeah, I agree, especially for a hate list like and that's what he's got him in the rankings as well. So it's not just the video.
I know.
He's got him at RB14.
But everybody else got him in that same range. Like, ESPN's got him in that same range. Fantasy Pros got him in that same range. Like, he's not putting his foot down here at all and moving him way down the list.
Yeah, and I can pull up that clip here.
So there's a couple places where they talk about him. That's not the only video. There's actually another video out there where he pulls up Breece Hall and, you know, the clam between his legs, Connor Rogers. He goes on this rant about how he's not in on Breece Hall. And then Barry questions him. He basically says, so do you think I'm too high on Breece Hall? And Connor Rogers basically panics. He's like, oh, maybe you can move him down a spot or two. So, like, they're just, like, the lack of just, like, belief in this one. I know that it's not following the rules here. We don't even need to play this.
Okay.
I just wanted to, so if people can go find it on their own. It's this one right here, and there's another one. But if you're going to say that he stinks, you can't rank him 14 when everybody else got him in that same spot. You can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just follow the blind rankings, especially when, I mean, you love Kamara that much. He's got Hampton one spot above Hall.
Exactly.
And he loves Hampton, but he's got Hall at 14.
Doesn't even make sense.
It really doesn't add up when you look at the love and hate and then look at the rankings, and it's just like, well, here's a collection of players that you both love and hate in the same 5 to 10 spots of your running back rankings. The whole teams, basically. There's a handful of guys scattered in the love and hate, and it just doesn't really add up at all.
Not only do I want to do the over on 14, because that's his ranking. That's where everybody else has got him ranking. I think that's way too high. So I hate Hall, but if he's going to rank him 14, that doesn't even really count. And I want a bonus point if Braylon Allen outscores him.
Yeah. I like that.
Because on my personal rankings, I got, maybe I shouldn't even say this, but I got Braylon Allen higher on my own personal rankings.
I don't know how
to put your foot down.
Yeah, that is putting your foot down. I don't know how they're going to use those two, but I'll tell you what. Coming out of college, Braylon Allen I'm a big fan. He's good.
Well, he's still the youngest player in the league, Braylon Allen. So I think people should remember that. Last year was his age 20 season while playing for the Jets, while they didn't have a head coach. while everything went to shit. So, yeah, Braylon Allen wasn't going to blow you away as a rookie under those circumstances. But I think heading into year 2, this is going to be way more of a committee than anyone wants to admit. I think Breece Hall is actually going to be the receiving back in terms of how they split this up, just so the receipts are out here, because I know Barry wants to avoid these. And the way that offenses work with rushing quarterbacks, he's not going to get targets because Fields, instead of dumping it off to the running back like an immobile quarterback would do, he's just going to take off and run. So a lot of the receiving opportunities that Hall would have gotten is just going to go to Fields' legs.
Yep. Those touches have to go Fields has to get those rushing touches somewhere because he's not getting 25 designed rushes a game, for example. He creates his rushing opportunities.
Exactly. And again, we don't want running backs on bad teams. I can't imagine the Jets are going to be any good. How many touchdowns is he really going to score here? So even if Hall comes through in terms of the yardage, he's going to have to score to hit 14. And I just think Fields is going to snipe him too many times. And I think Allen's going to snipe him too, just because of the style of back that he is.
Yeah. You have two guys who, coming from the backfield, can very easily steal touchdowns.
And Allen's a big fucker. Like, if you're going to use anybody on the goal line, it would probably be him.
Yeah. And it's a little bit different because Aaron Glenn's coming over from Detroit. He's a defensive guy. But for how long were people talking about Montgomery stealing Gibbs' work and getting a ton of touchdowns? That's not, he's wasn't the offensive guy, so there's a difference there. But he watched from the sideline the exact way they managed that offense, and it's not unreasonable to believe that he would do a similar thing with two different style running backs. And once again, he's a defensive guy, so it's a little different. But
I want to say one more thing before we move on, just so if anybody out there says, well, Trey, you're breaking the rule, you can't use Breece Hall. So right here in this paragraph, he says he's currently RB17. He's currently being drafted as RB17. He's got him RB14. So he's higher on where he's being drafted. So I just want to know, how you can possibly put someone on your hate list when your own personal rankings have him higher than consensus.
Yeah. It is not your fault that he is inconsistent with how his rankings compared to his love hate.
It's nobody's fault. It's not my fault he's not intelligent. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep going here. We're not going to do Mixon because he's hurt.
Okay. Can I just say one thing? Yeah. Did this come out before the Mixon injury?
Yes, I think.
Okay. Maybe. Okay. Because throwing him the injured running back on the don't draft guy list is no shit, man.
But we all knew he was hurt.
Yeah. So
we didn't know he was going to be out 4 weeks, but every report at the time was week 1's looking dicey. We don't really know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's a little cheesy to have the hurt running back on your don't draft list.
Which his price is already baked in, by the way. What's the price on Mixon? He's it's already been baked in.
37. So
yeah, don't draft RB 37.
Going to find Mixon at RB 37. Braylon Allen at RB 40, by the way. So just throw that out there.
Can we add him too, since we're doing that?
For what? If Braylon outscores Mixon?
No, Braylon Allen on the under. Because it's part of the Breece Hall conversation, right? So we can add another bonus point there, right? Since he wants to hate on Breece Hall, right? And he doesn't have enough courage to say that Braylon Allen's going to be within the same range. I'm going to say that we'll take the under on RB 40 for Allen too.
Wonderful. All right. To the wide receivers.
I'm tempted to do Javonte, but we'll leave it alone just because he's a shell of himself too.
Yeah.
We'll start here with Nico Collins, and this is a Chickster play. I wasn't gonna use this one, but Chickster put in the Slack that's the first one he would use, so we'll use this as a bonus Chickster play. For context, I don't have Collins on the cheese list. I'm not saying to cross him off the list. Like, he's not one of my bust plays. But I think Chickster probably has a point in the sense that, like, dude, look at where he's being ranked, man.
Wide receiver 5 is the rank on Nico Collins.
Woo!
So,
and
for context,
can we do the overall in terms of running backs? And
yeah.
So he's got him RB5, and he's got him overall player what?
10.
So if you're in a 10-team league, he's a first-round pick. We'll add this as the Chickster play. I want it for overall player and for wide receiver. So we'll take the over on wide receiver 5 and the over on player 10.
Yeah, and for the wide receiver rankings, he's he's obviously got the Chase, Jefferson, Lamb, and then he goes Neighbors, Collins, Nakua, Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas, Drake London, AJ Brown. That's the top 10. So you, by taking Nico Collins in the top 5, you are pretty confident that he's one of the premier pass catchers in the league, which is a tough ask. And I've always been a Nico Collins guy, but this is the first year the price has been as high as it's been.
Oof.
I've had Nico Collins.
Yeah, my argument is not that he sucks. He's not on the cheese list. But holy fuck, man, like this is something. And I don't know how you feel about this way. So if you think this is off base, feel free to say this shouldn't be added in. I want a bonus point for Marvin Harrison on every single receiver. So we're gonna go with, hey, Trey, so you say don't do this or don't do that. Who are you taking instead? Let's put Marvin Harrison comped against every single one of these receivers that we're going to talk about.
Does he have Marvin Harrison in the hate list?
I don't think so. I don't think he has him listed at all.
Okay. Yeah, might as well.
But so on his personal rankings, he's got Neighbors ahead of Harrison. He's got Brian Thomas ahead of Harrison. He's got Ladd McConkey ahead of Harrison.
16.
Yeah. So you say, Trey, what would you do instead? I would much rather take one of these other running backs. Like if you're doing your snake draft, take one of these bona fide top end running backs and then get Harrison way later. Because you're basically, if you want to flip flop that, you would take Nico Collins and then you would end up taking. You would basically take Nico Collins and then you would get stuck with the Breece Hall as your first running back if that's the way that you would draft. So I want a bonus point for if Harrison outscores all of them.
Yeah, the guys that are ranked, that he's got ranked above Harrison, right?
For the anybody that he's got on the love list that we're going to talk about. Okay, I want to comped against Harrison.
Okay.
We're going to do the next name on the list because we already mentioned that during the last video that we recorded where London just missed on his take. So Barry's argument here is that London is going to he's going to climb his way into the Chase, Jefferson, Lamb conversation. That's what Barry's on record for saying, that this year London is really going to be a top motherfucking receiver. That's his take. We'll take the over. There's no way that anybody with a brain thinks he's a real wide receiver 1 in terms of real NFL football. There's just no way, at least in my opinion. And we talked about this last year. He was 3rd in the NFL in targets, and he still wasn't a top 10 wide receiver. So if he's 3rd in the NFL in targets last year, he's still not a top 10 fantasy wide receiver. What happens if those volume numbers simply come back down to even a reasonable number?
Yeah, and we've done the Drake London at this point so many times.
And it's right there in the article. 158 fucking targets. Yeah. If that number just comes down to 130, which is still a lot. But if it simply comes down 125, 130, if that number comes down 20, 25, 30 targets, and he still wasn't a top 10 receiver last year, he ain't going to come close if that happens.
Yeah. And I don't know how much faith I'm putting into this Falcons offense, at least the passing game. Maybe if you believe
I don't think Penix is going to make it.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, the good thing about Penix is he might be an upgrade over Kirk Cousins, which was one of the things that we talked about last year. He might be an upgrade over Kirk Cousins. I'll give people that. Maybe he will do that. But even so,
he had Penix for a part of that season though as well.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's going from 16 of Cousins to 16 of Penix, which is a marginal upgrade. It's not like it's like, holy shit, he's got Penix.
Yeah.
It's
so I want to do another three. I want to do another 3-parter for this one. Wherever he's got him wide receiver wise, his overall ranking wise, and then comped against Harrison. Because again, what we talked about last year, London didn't kill you in fantasy, but he didn't win you your league either. And a big reason why is because the price on what you were paying for London, you were passing on those other running backs. Like you could have turned the card in for Josh Jacobs last year, gotten a receiver later who put up basically this, because all those receivers, we went over that last year. There was like 10 receivers within like 5 points of each other. So if you passed on one of those running backs and you took London high instead, you're almost shooting yourself in the foot, even if he didn't kill you.
Yeah, just from a roster building standpoint. And he has him as overall player number 14.
Wow.
So that's like, if you're in a 14, like there's 14 team leagues out there, that's your first pick. But even in smaller leagues, that's like your building blocks for your roster is going to be, pick 8, and then you turn around, make that early second round pick. And those, you have to hit on both those guys to have good teams. If that's where your draft position is, you can't hit on one of those guys.
So where's he got him wide receiver number?
Wide receiver 9, overall 14.
All right, so we'll take the over on both of those, and then again, for the added context, Trey, what are you doing instead? We're going to wait on receiver, and we're going to take Harrison way later. Then we can we're not going to do McMillan. We're not going to do Ridley. Not going to do Hunter. Not going to do Kittle. Wait, so is Pickens on his love or hate?
Love.
Okay, yeah, keep going. We'll do Golden, though. Simply because I'm obligated, because I don't have Golden ranked very high. So we'll add him. I know that he's not being ranked super high, but I guess we'll add it as a minor one.
Wide receiver 37.
Ooh. That's really not that high.
Well,
but we'll take it anyway.
I don't like this Matthew Golden stuff.
I don't either. So I feel like I got to take it out of principle just based on my draft notes, because unlike Barry, I'm a man of integrity. So we'll add it anyway. Because here's where I'm at. You could tell me any of these Packers receivers will lead them in points. Like if you told me, hey, Magic 8 Ball, it's actually Dontavian Wicks who led him. Like I could see any of these motherfuckers doing it. Jaden Reed, Dobbs, Christian Watson when he comes back. Tucker Kraft could lead him, honestly. So I don't think it's crazy to say like if Matthew Golden is the top Packers receiver, I wouldn't be like surprised. But out of principle, we'll take it anyway.
If I'm taking a Packers receiver, it almost has to be a best ball league, right? Like I would absolutely hate trying to figure out if I'm trying to start a guy in a lineup league and they play for that Packers receiving room.
That's a great point.
And there's going to be weeks where it's like, all right, so I'm going to start this guy, and then he gets you 0, and then you lose a matchup because of it.
Yeah, that's a great point because he's in a lineup league.
Yeah.
They're all doing this based on lineup leagues. So when we review Matthew Golden a year from now, let's factor in there's definitely a handful of weeks where somebody started him and he killed you.
Yeah. And I just want to throw the other guys out here because I think this might add more context. This is his wide receiver rankings.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's start at wide receiver. We'll start at 34 because Jacoby Myers is 33 and he just requested a trade. So we'll start at 34. 34, Roma Dunze. 35, Ricky Pearsall. 36, Emeka Egbuka. 37, Matthew Golden. 38, Chris Olave. 39, Juwan Jennings. 40, Stephon Diggs. 41, Jerry Jeudy. 42, Deebo Samuel.
I would take all of those guys except for maybe Jennings.
43, Jordan Addison. 44, Khalil Shakur. 45, Cooper Kupp.
I would take all of those guys.
So, like, this is like when we talk about ranges of who you should be drafting. Like, if you cross Golden off the list and pick from any of those guys instead, like, I think you find yourself in a
so we
much
could
better
we could
position.
basically do it like this. How about one for Golden, and since Matthew Berry hasn't learned his lesson on Jordan Addison, we'll compare what Jordan Addison does compared to Golden.
If Addison outscores Golden,
now
what's the point?
I'm very aware that Addison is suspended for the first 3 weeks, so obviously that's part of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
But during the weeks that Addison's out there, because again, we always have the Ricky Bobby approach here. We want to win the fantasy playoffs. If you're not first, you're last. I don't really give a shit that he's not going to play the first 3 weeks.
At that draft position, you're probably drafting bench guys anyways. So you should be able to feel the starting lineup. If it's a lineup league, if it's a best ball league, you can survive for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it would be perfectly fine drafting Addison.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep going here.
Right.
I think we're almost done. Oh, so I wanted to have a conversation on those tight ends.
Okay.
So, again, this one's going to be very important context-wise too. So, everyone seems to suggest that Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland, they're just going to step in and do what Brock Bowers did, which those guys are being ranked where Brock Bowers was as a rookie. And the argument is from the mainstream media that, hey, those guys are values. You can be one of the last people to take a tight end, and the upside there, it's going to be worth it because they're going to be the next Brock Bowers. I think that's completely laughable. But I don't think it's impossible that, like, Warren sneaks in as tight end 10. Because, like, the tight end position is complete wasteland. So, like, you could suck and be tight end 10. So I don't know what we want to do in terms of that part. They're listed as honorable mentions. I don't know how you want to score it because I don't think it's like, where does he got Warren and Loveland?
9 and 12. Warren being 9.
I don't think that's impossible. Like, I don't think, because especially with the tight end position, it's really about who scores touchdowns. And if Warren ends up being the top touchdown guy for the Colts, he could sneak in there.
Yeah.
Loveland could sneak in there. I just think it's crazy if anyone thinks like, ooh, we're getting the next Bowers. Watch out. So that's all I'll say on that.
Yeah, I don't know if adding them to the list is, because it's not really a, like you said with the tight end position, it's like,
it's a wasteland.
And even some of these guys that are at the top that are good are now old.
Yeah. Like,
so,
yeah,
like,
sure. Kelsey could fall off a cliff.
Yeah. Any one of the
Mark Andrews could fall off the cliff. Sure.
He was one foot off last year.
Yeah.
I mean, how big of a surprise is it if he just completely goes this time around? So yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I guess maybe we can leave him alone. Yeah. But if they totally bomb, I want that to be kept in mind.
Yep. Okay.
We will add some of these pass catchers though.
Pass catchers he hates.
Metcalf, put him on it. Where's he got Metcalf?
He has DK. Sorry, I was in the tight ends. Give me a second here. 29.
We'll take the under on that. So he can talk about all he wants about Arthur Smith offenses, and that's fine. I'm not an Arthur Smith guy either. But I know how Aaron Rodgers works. And how Aaron Rodgers works is this. Hey, Devontae Adams, I know you're being double teamed. I don't give a shit. You're being thrown the ball 800 times. That's just what Rodgers does. I would imagine, and again, it seems like Rodgers was very influential in getting Metcalf to Pittsburgh. I would imagine that he's going to throw the ball to Metcalf an absurd amount in terms of the target share. Because who do they have? Jonnu Smith, Freiermuth. They don't really have a second receiver. It's Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin. Anytime they throw the ball, he's getting it.
Yeah. Shout out Roman Wilson, by the way. But Michigan man at heart.
Sure.
Wide receiver, I'm not going to say that. I won't say anything too confident about Roman. But if Pickens was here, I think it'd be a different story because he's a great jump ball guy as well. But a lot of those
Yeah.
A lot of those, fuck it, someone's down there moments.
Mm-hmm.
It's only going to be DK that's getting those.
Yep.
And at wide receiver 29, you're not paying like
oh yeah.
I could see him going under this. Like, I think this is a boom bust situation here.
I agree.
But at the same time, like,
but
if he hits at this cost, these are the picks that really, really are influential in winning you a league.
Yeah, like where he's being ranked based on some like team builds that you'll end up with, he might be your third receiver.
Yep.
And if he's your third receiver and he hits, that's wonderful.
He's got him overall player 57. So
it's not outrageous, but I think it's
for context as to where he's getting drafted, right? Or overall player 57 gets you pretty deep into your team already being built.
Yeah, we're talking depending on what your league mates do. That's 5th, 6th round.
Yeah. Yep. And I feel like this is a popular hate as well this year.
Yeah.
So like I feel like people are, especially in like a highly casual league, I guess there are people who love DK who would probably draft them. But at the same time, I think there's people who are like, oh, why would I draft DK? You know, he's with the Steelers now. I think that's become such a popular opinion that he may slip in some leagues.
And again, I just want to mention this one more time. There's like a human element to football.
Yeah.
What does Rodgers do? He's going to hyper target this guy. Like Rodgers, he just doesn't care. Like if he doesn't trust you, it doesn't matter how wide open you are. He's not going to give you the ball. Like there was that time when he was at Green Bay and Dobbs kept dropping the ball on him. He just said, fuck it. I don't give a shit how many routes you run at. I'm just not throwing it to you. Metcalf's getting all the looks.
And there's a lot of potential there for him not to trust anybody else on the offense. He might find one or two. There might be a tight end that he likes, but there's some potential for it to be the DK Metcalf show.
We'll skip Judy.
Okay.
And we'll do the next. We'll do Flowers. We'll hit Flowers.
Zay Flowers, he has a wide receiver 28.
We'll take the under on that. So he's definitely the number one receiver on Baltimore's offense. I understand that they're going to run the ball a lot. I get it. But the thing with Flowers, and like he's going to give you those big weeks. He's perfect for best ball at this price, especially. So again, he might be your third receiver depending on your team build. He's going to make big plays. He's actually a good player. I don't know. I think this is a little low for me. It's not outrageous, but it's definitely low for me.
I think this is similar to the James Cook conversation. Like, it's a little bit different, but at the same time, just the pure player skill and offense production. Like, okay, I'm in. Like, those are, I think there's certain players you can really boil it down to that, good players and good offenses, and I think Zay Flowers is one of them, even if they're not a or a pass-heavy offense. If they were a super pass-heavy offense, like, my God, you'd never get him at wide receiver 28.
Yeah.
But the situation we're in, like, there's going to be weeks where Henry gets all the touchdowns probably, and you probably didn't have a great week with Flowers, but at this price tag, like, he's going to be wide receiver 1 beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I think my favorite line in this column is DeAndre Hopkins has arrived. Did anybody watch him last year?
I love me some D-Hop, but man, he's washed. Like,
if he ran a 40, do you think he'd be under 5? I'm being dead serious. He can't run anymore.
I haven't answered the question. I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard question.
I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, if he ran a real 40 at the combine right now, I don't know if he's getting under 5.
I mean, it'd be lying close to a pick'em. if you were to put betting odds out there, like,
yeah,
I probably wouldn't bet it, to be honest. I'd probably be like, you know what, that's what I'll stay off that one. I can find some action somewhere else.
That's funny. All right, we can keep going here. I know we're going a long time. We'll do that's the last one. Pitts. We're doing it.
We're so back.
We're adding them.
Kyle Pitts.
So where's he got him?
He's got 18.
I feel obligated to do it because I have Pitts on my team because I've had him signed. Tight end 18. Man, we're talking about some bum territory.
If he plays 16 games with a functional body, like tight end 18 is a pretty easy mark to hit.
Well, here's the other thing. Not only is the tight end position a complete wasteland, but Atlanta doesn't have anybody. Like Darnell Mooney's hurt. He's literally going to play wide receiver because Darnell Mooney's hurt. So, like, I guess they could throw the ball to Drake London every single time again, but he should have opportunities.
Yeah. The tight end rankings on his board are Kincaid 14, Goddard 15, Strange 16, Hunter Henry 17, Pitts 18, Ertz 19, Otten 20, Johnny Smith 21, Okongwu 22, and then it gets to Likely and Gesicki at 23.
We'll just take the under on Pitts.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. I don't think it's impossible he gets traded. So what happens if he gets – because I don't think that can be ruled out. Because I don't know if they're going to pick up his fifth-year option. I think that's a big mystery. What happens if we get to the trade deadline? Somebody offers him a third-round pick. They take it. They decide they don't want to pick up his fifth-year option. They'll take the draft pick instead. And he goes to a good team, and now he's in a way better situation.
Well, I would love that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even the biggest Kyle Pitts fan out there. Like, there are people who are hammering the table for Kyle Pitts. I've never been that, but I've always thought he was better than, the production suggests, and I'd be very interested to see what he looks like.
He still put up 1,000 yards as a rookie.
Yeah. You don't just do that.
Yeah. You don't just do that and suck.
Yeah.
So we'll put I got no problem putting Pitts, especially at that price. And I have him on my team, so let's fire that one up.
Yeah. And also I like how he put do not draft Kyle Pitts again in all caps.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, don't draft Kyle Pitts, man. You could have Brenton Strange. Like, oh shit. Fuck, how did I mess that one up?
Yeah.
So,
all right, I think we can exit that article. Do some closing. How many plays do I got this year?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, not counting bonus points that we have allotted. So 15 separate players. So then a couple players are a couple potential for some extra points. Obviously, the Marvin Harrison stuff. Jeanty had a couple on there. Addison versus Golden. Drake London's over, and a couple of those, not counting the overall as well, because we did a couple that were position and overall rankings. So
I wanted to really add as many as we could, because who knows, like based on his fantasy content next year, we might not be able to do this. So.
Yeah, because if the alternative is watching hours of Matthew Berry to collect all his takes, I don't know if we got the heart for that one.
Yeah, somehow, some way, I'll figure it out. But yeah, I think this is going to go very well again this year. I would imagine. Who knows what the scoreboard will end up looking like? But if it's any indication on how the first 2 years went, do not listen to him in terms of I don't have the time to write the article anymore. When it said it's literally his identity. It's built his entire career, and now he no longer has time to do it. That's just a lie. So,
yeah. And I will say, I think the board fell pretty nice this year. There's a lot of guys that it's like, oh yeah, I'll gladly sign up for the James Cook experience. Like, there's a lot of guys. You're not really having to pull your teeth out to say positive or negative things about some of these guys.
Yeah, I wasn't like itching or scratching or being like, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, there was plenty of options for me this year. So, Luckily for Barry, I didn't catch him saying anything stupid as the Ben Sinnott would outscore Brock Bowers. I didn't catch him on that level of dumbness this year, but
it would have been a hard one to top. But you never know.
Yeah. All right, James Herrick, any closing thoughts?
No, I'm excited once again, and I always love the preseason recording of this, but the postseason, which the last 2 years has been a victory lap, that has been fun as well. So I'm looking forward to the next one already.
Yeah, and once again, I know the people, they don't really know what to say. I know that they've seen it, but it's time to just acknowledge he's past the throne. Like that's it's not really my opinion. It just is what it is. So if you want to win your fantasy league this year, check out all the videos on vendettasportsmedia.com. 2 of the cheese list articles are already posted. The rest of the OnlyFans stuff will be on the on the site and on the YouTube channel. So make sure to follow along because it is 1,000% the best way to give you advice for winning your league.